When you golf in Missouri, the courses are so close, you'll spend more time on the fairway than the freeway. Reserve a tee time at the Regal Osage National, designed by the king himself, Arnold Palmer. Take a cart ride on the wild side in the breathtaking surrounds of Paynes Valley, designed by Tiger Woods. And after the back nine, there's still world-class dining and distilleries, shops and spas, museums, and more. Find your new golf MO in Missouri. Start planning your golf getaway at visitmo.com.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Kempire is brought to you by
Philadelphia. The Kempire After Dark, the villain era, is coming to your city on July 10th. That is 2 weeks away. But this week only until Sunday, there is a flash sale for premium tickets for $25 only. Don't miss our night of hot topics. We have a lot to talk about, from Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Miami, to The Diddler, and so much more. Don't forget, we are also coming to the City Winery in Atlanta on August 5th, and then we're in Union Stage on August 22nd in Washington, D.C. Then we're back in New York City at the Green Room 42. That show has not just the meet and greet, but we also have a live stream option. So even if you're attending these other shows or you're not in any of the cities, you have an option to be a part of the Kempire After Dark, the villain era live experience right now. Get your tickets today. More information is available in the description. But again, Philly, go get your tickets this week. Flash sale happening right now.
You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. Be sure to let me know if you guys can see me, hear me, and all the things. Shout out to everyone that has been waiting patiently. We were supposed to go live at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, but I've moved, as you guys already know, so I'm in a building, so sometimes the building has to do things in the apartment, and that will cause delays, especially when there's miscommunication. Yes, but it's okay. We are here. We are here for our second to last before the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion airs. Second to last recap. So I didn't expect, or did I expect? Oh yeah, because I thought there was supposed to be like 18 episodes. So next week will be episode 17. This week was episode 16 of season 16 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you guys had to rate it from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? How would you rate it? Oh, let me turn my notifications off. See, that's how discombobulated this morning has been. But now it's the afternoon. It's okay. It's a hot, hot day here in New York City. It's already 94 degrees. 94 degrees here in New York City. I will not be going outside. I went outside yesterday. I went outside yesterday in the evening, and I was like, oh, this is unbearable. So I can only imagine what it feels like right now. Maybe this evening I will go out for an evening walk. Maybe? No. I'm going to stay inside. But more importantly, guys, if you are experiencing this heat wave, make sure that you're staying hydrated. I know a lot of you don't even realize the signs and symptoms of dehydration. A lot of people walking around dehydrated, including Marcus from this week's episode. You are thirsty, sir. Thirsty. And I don't care if it was one of the housewives or an enemy of Angela that paid you to come and do this. You are thirsty, sad, and pitiful. But I knew you were thirsty because you were in our Twitter mentions a few weeks ago saying, Kempire, that's me that you guys see. That's me. Come on.
You can ring.
And it's Pride Month. You know, we're raising money for Pride Month for the LGBT Center here in New York City. So if you haven't donated, you have like 8 more days. 8 more days. But I hate when we see these messy gays that are utilized and weaponized on Real Housewives of Atlanta for being messy. But thirsty. But you know what? Just stop sleeping on us Tauruses. Just when you think that you guys got us, you don't. Because you saw what Angela said later on in the episode. She's like, I have people that do not play about me. And please understand, when Angela came into Phaedra's event, she already knew who had sent that thirsty mother father. She already knew. But she wasn't going to show her hand yet. She was already all over it. We're going to get to it. Okay. I watched the after show. I watched What Happens Live. Cynthia and Angela looked great. And look, can I say this? I think we were originally right that Charles is just uncomfortable on camera. Do you guys see him on Watch What Happens Live? He seemed uncomfortable on Watch What Happens Live. So now I'm going to give him some grace. Do I think that he needs to step up for Angela a little bit more? Yes, but I think that's what he was trying to do on Watch What Happens Live. Did you guys notice that? Woo, 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 Charles. But Charles also had a book to promote. So he was there as the bartender. But he definitely, they were definitely trying to do, for lack of a better word, a little damage control. And when I say damage control, I don't mean that their relationship is as bad as it is, but the way that it was depicted on the show did not do their relationship justice. Maybe. I definitely think that he could have definitely done better during the season. But I saw a different side of Charles because, he's always come across as a strong, he's a legend. And based off the edit, that's the way he was depicted. But what I saw on Watch What Happens Live was a nervous, meek, mild side of him, which is okay, Charles. Don't take that as like a diss. There's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. You love your woman. Tell the world so that we're not judging you. Tell the world that you love your woman. All right? But I definitely saw a different side. If you watched Watch What Happens Live, you definitely saw a different side of him on Watch What Happens Live. And could he have just taken notes based off of what people have been saying? Maybe, because I could definitely tell that Angela watches the reviews. Did anyone else notice? Based on Watch What Happens? Okay, Angela, keep watching, girl. I noticed that. I was like, that sounds... Well, she definitely is active on social media, so she's definitely hearing what people are saying. All right, so I did watch What Happens Live. I thought Angela and Cynthia looked great. Angela, the wig was wigging. I don't know what was happening at the Black Glove event. That wig was not wigging. I needed you come in with your receipts and your hair tight, but you looked great on Watch What Happens Live. And I know what some of you will say. You talking about hair? Well, I don't have any. If I was wearing a wig, I'd be a weaknista. Okay? All right. Let me take a sip because I'm a little parched like Marcus. Marcus, I know you're excited. People know your name. Marcus, did you lose your job? He said that he knows. I don't know you, but I know Charles. What is going on? Okay, Ms. Netta, I know Charles. How do you know Charles? And as a heterosexual woman, I would be concerned that this gay man's coming up to me and saying that you know my husband. What in the Brit Edie is going on? And you know what I mean when I say that. And I know, guys, there's Brit Edie's $20 million lawsuit. We don't know if it's an actual lawsuit. There's an index number with, has she done everything that she needs to do in order to push this lawsuit forward? We don't know. And honestly, I don't care. I look forward to season 17 when we don't have to talk about Brit Edie. I also saw the rumors about Real Housewives of Atlanta being canceled after this season. Bravo has not confirmed or denied it. They haven't confirmed or denied it. So we shall see. I don't know if I believe that. All right. And let me see what you guys say. Oh, before we get to Real Housewives of Atlanta, I'm going on tour. Yes, I will be coming to Philly in like 2 weeks, Philly. But guess what, Philly? If you were going to buy your tickets, this would be the week. Shout out to our friends over at City Winery. They have a special deal going on. There is a flash sale starting today. It was launched at noon today here in Philadelphia. Well, no, I'm not in Philadelphia. Y'all know where I am. But you can get $25 tickets for our show. So if you've been wanting to get tickets and you're like, oh, I don't know if I should get tickets or I might have to wait. I'm waiting on it. No, this is the week to get your tickets. Only this week. The flash sale ends Sunday. So you're going to hear me talk all about it every single day, multiple times a day. Philly, go get your tickets today for our City Winery show. It's going to be a night of hot topics. We're going to be talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta. We're going to talk about Miami. We're going to talk about The Diddler. I was just on Fem Taro's channel yesterday talking about Tyler Perry, Diddler. We talked about a bunch of hot topics yesterday. So if you missed it, be sure to check it out. You'll also be able to hear it on the podcast later today. So stay tuned for that. Later today, I also will be talking about The Diddler. So stay tuned for that update as well. All right. Amy says that Charles was all smiley. He was all smiley at the on Watch What Happens. He was a lot nicer. He cut off his dreads. He looked good. I mean, I like both. Either way, I mean, someone that doesn't have hair, I can appreciate at his particular age that he still is able to have a strong follicle. CD says, okay, I'm going to go buy them. Yeah, this is a flash sale this week, y'all. When they mentioned it to me, I was like, yeah, let's do the flash sale. Let's give our people something this week. It's Christmas in the middle of summer. So Philly, I will see you guys on July 10th, and then I'm in Atlanta on August 5th. Then we're coming to DC on August 22nd, and then we're coming back to New York City on September 12th. Ticket information will be available in the description. Let's get into Real Housewives of Atlanta and the episode. All right, the after show. I've been mentioning to you that the after shows have been shorter and shorter. This week's after show was 15 minutes. Yeah, the after show, there's not a lot. I don't think this is a terrible season. And again, I'm probably grading Real Housewives of Atlanta on a curve because of how bad Real Housewives of New York has been or was. But I can't wait to come to Philly to really go in on Real Housewives of New York. Remind me, Philly, just in case I forget to add it to the show, that I really want to go in on Real Housewives of New York when I get to Philly. Atlanta, if we want to talk about, I think by August I might be over it. But in 2 weeks, I still might be like, oh no, I need to talk about Real Housewives of New York. Yeah, I know it's not on, but I want to talk about Bryn. Okay. Anyway, so what was I saying? Okay, the after show, short. I don't think it's been a bad season. If you had to rate Real Housewives of Atlanta's season overall, I think it's been a decent season. Did it need Phaedra? Not necessarily, but I will say Phaedra has made me laugh a couple of times. Last week's episode and this week's episode, she said the Michael Jackson Propofol special. She didn't get that. I laughed to myself. We were on TikTok last night and we watched it live together, right, TikTok fam? I'm not live on TikTok right now because the last time I was live on TikTok, they bananaed me. Something I said during our recap. Don't know why. It is what it is. Jenna, are you coming to the show, Jenna? Shout out to Jenna. Jenna, did you say you wanted to be a mod? I'll make Jenna a mod because Jenna's been here a long time and she's a member. We appreciate it. You don't have to be a member to be a mod, but I'm just saying. All right, so Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get into this. I'm already hot in here, and I have the air conditioning on. So if you hear something in the back, Jenna says I'll remind you. Jenna will remind me. Jenna will definitely remind me. Elle says that Phaedra looked great other than the booty crack. Oh Lord. I mean, it is what it is. I have to say I'm going to be jumping around just a little bit, guys. For the black glove affair that Phaedra had, I feel like no one really looked good. I think if Portia was there, Portia would have looked good. Portia, happy belated birthday, girl. Because I know even though you have me blocked, you still watch. Allegedly. It's like a happy belated birthday, happy cancer season to anyone that celebrates. Even if it's your birthday and you don't assign to being a Cancer, it's fine. I think Portia would have looked great. I think Drew looked good. I liked Brit's bob. That was it. Because when I got a better look at Brit's outfit, I was like, the outfit wasn't great. No one looked great during this event, right? The only one that looked decent was Drew. And I liked Brit's bob. And I hate the fact that you guys are going to have me defend Brit again this week. And one says, I love Brit in that bob. Yeah, the bob was bobbing, Brit. The bob was bobbing. But everyone else's looks were not great. Ari, happy birthday, early birthday. And shout out to those of you that have been requesting me for your cancer season cameos. All right. All right, let me start from the top because I'm jumping around and I like to stay in order. So I was talking about the after show. I'll jump back and forth because the after show already talks about a lot of what other things that were happening in the episode. So they start off the episode with Shamia with her daughters at the doctor's office. Why did production, and the majority of production that produces Real Housewives of Atlanta is black, I found that to be strange that they didn't understand a black parent greasing up their daughter. I thought that was such a, unless the person that did ask was not black, but I don't think so. I think the person that asked that was black. Did anyone kind of go like, clutch your pearls? Like, I understood. First of all, don't nobody talk about Shia. Look, I don't know Shia. I don't know Shamia. But I love me some Shia. I love her little personality. I think she's adorable. Who cares? Who cares about her getting greased up? Y'all, sometimes I come in here all greased up because I'm like, a little extra moisturizer. Actually, I didn't even moisturize. I didn't put my butter moisturizer on. I started my routine, but then I got sidetracked because of everything happening this morning. All right. I'm not frozen. I'm moving along. I might be frozen on your computer. Okay. Teresa says, I clocked that. It made me uncomfortable. I found that to be weird. Especially coming from, R says, weird question. Angel says, it was an embarrassing question as if she's downing the little girl. I mean, I guess culturally, maybe it's different. I felt like all those black people understood why Shia was, all greased up. Okay. Oh, it must be a YouTube thing for some of you guys. If there's an issue, of course, let me know. But if I'm frozen for you, you might have to swipe out of the app and then come back on in. Thanks, Mama Ellie. Shout out to our King's Guards, guys. Let's see, Little Brownie says, I got overly greased as a kid. And that's literally what Shamia says. She says that my mama did it to me. I don't recall my mama ever doing that to me. However, I always saw it happening, so I never thought of anything. I never thought anything of it. If anything, she's going to have beautiful skin when she gets older. Exactly, you know what I mean? Anyway, but again, interesting question. Someone asked that of Shamia. Like, why? Who asked that? Was it a black person that asked that question? That was a weird question. But all right. So they go to the doctor's office because, Shiloh, a premature baby, a lot of health issues. We were talking about how the nurse, I hope that nurse was fired, lost her license. Oh, I'm sorry. But again, no, I'm not sorry. The nurse should lose her license. That's abuse. That's abuse. Y'all know I came from, I've had many careers, but I used to work with children back in the day, children with developmental disabilities. And little things like that, we would have to write up incident reports and things like people would lose. I used to also be one of the managers when it came to incident reporting. So we would investigate issues of abuse. I've had a pass, y'all. Okay. So I was part of the team. I was the co-chair of the investigation. So we would review abuse allegations. Like that would be grounds for abuse and probably termination. Maybe she wouldn't lose her license, but termination. I'm like, I don't understand. But anyway, I've digressed. Shiloh goes to the doctor because the doctor wants to see if Shiloh has strep. I love the doctor. Was it Dr. Dorian? Gerald, I'm guessing he was probably busy, but he's always there on a FaceTime for these events. I don't know if he just didn't want to film. He's barely filmed this season, okay? Austin says, a true Jamaican, many jobs. Yeah, I've had a past, all right? But yeah, so Shiloh doesn't have strep. Shamia was concerned that maybe she had given the baby strep. Cute scene, but what we found out in this scene was that Asha... Remember Asha, the one that we were introduced was going to be the surrogate for Shamia? Ends up, they try to do the transfer failed, and now they've sort of put a pause on this whole baby making process. And it's stressful. And I get people have their opinions because Shamia is sharing this on the show. At the end of the day, they want to expand their family. There are a lot of people that can relate to what Shamia is going through. She's also a woman of a particular age. So I understand why the rush, because there are a lot of people like, don't do it. Don't do it. At the end of the day, that's their family. They can afford to have as many kids as they want. Fine. But I also understand that Shamia is going through a lot of stress when it comes to this whole process. So, I mean, not only is she doing she had just lost the baby herself, like literally physically. And now she's trying to do the whole surrogate process. She already went through the surrogate process with Shiloh, and that turned out the way that it had turned out with those challenges. So it happens. It happens. Chanel Beck said, I always skip Shamia's part. I can't, because it might be something worth talking about, like what we just did. There are a lot of people that can relate. S. Foster, happy birthday. A lot of people's birthdays. Happy birthday. All right, let's move on. So then we have the scene with Phaedra at home with her boys, Dylan and Aiden. And I know a lot of people are going to say this. That's the best part of Phaedra, is how she's raised those boys despite the father that they have. Despite the father that they have, she's done a really great job with them. Just saying. And I don't know what kind of father Apollo actually is now that he's out of jail. But despite all of that, she's been able to raise these young men. They're both articulate. They seem like decent human beings. She's doing a good job with them. And that Dylan looks like Phaedra's twin, even though she says that Aiden's personality is more like hers. But Dylan wants to do fashion. And I love the fact, because here's the thing. We all know a lot of black mothers, a lot of black parents, if their boy wanted to get into design, I mean, back in the day, maybe not today, a lot of y'all are probably a little bit more open to it. And our community is definitely open. Probably would not encourage it, probably would not give him the resources to delve into that world. I love the fact that Phaedra was like, I'm going to find you someone that's going to help you learn how to sew, because he couldn't find pants that fit him. And now, I will say this, Dylan, you are a fly mother father. His style, did you guys see his style? It's very uniquely his at his age. I was like, okay. Exactly, Jermaine. They said they would call it gay and discourage him. And Pride Month, let's call it a thing. Okay? I remember all the microaggressions I got from family and friends growing up. So I love the fact that she's encouraging him. He's got some style, just his outfit alone. I was like, look at Dylan. And then he's learning. For all we know, she could be developing the next big thing in fashion. And I hope to God, when he's of a particular age, all the walls that have already been changing, and been being torn down in the fashion world when it comes to black people in fashion will be torn down so much that he can thrive and have his own luxury brand. Because those pants that he was giving us were luxury. Okay? Luxury. And Phaedra's like, so you're going to make me some? He's like, no. I mean, boys are going to still be boys. And look. Easter says, I was impressed, Kemp. I was impressed too. Belle says he's super fly. I look forward to seeing what he does with that. And again, I think with Phaedra, she's encouraging it now. If he decides, you know how kids are, he might decide in a year or two or by this summer, I don't want to do fashion anymore. Like, I don't want to design anymore. It's too serious. But that's his right. I think it's important as parents, I'm not a parent, but you get what I'm saying, to encourage these things. Funky says, Dylan is swaggy. He got more style than me. I was like, okay, I see you. Like, I honestly, I said this last night when I was live on TikTok. I was like, I want those pants for my Atlanta show on August 5th and come out looking swaggy. Don't let me DM Phaedra. I'll pay for it, Phaedra. You think he would look at dude? Oh, Darisha said, what was the website? I can't remember what they said, but I'm sure someone will look it up. Or you can just go to Phaedra's Instagram. I'm sure she has like a link or something like that. Bright CV says, a young Virgil in the making. May Virgil rest in peace. Well, good for. I love the fact that she encouraged it and she gave him the resources to not just to encourage him, but to actually give him the skill. But we're not surprised by that because that is who Phaedra is. Phaedra has multiple jobs, okay? So, multiple ways to wash money. I mean, what? Huh? Okay, move on. Okay. I can't wait for the live shows. I got things for y'all to talk about in Philly. We got things to get into. Latoya says DM or Kempire. I might just make a request. Stay tuned. I might make a request. Stay tuned. Like through the website and see if I can get it. Yeah, Wen says that Dylan she's raised well-rounded young men. And I think, again, although we shade Phaedra in a lot of ways, she's a good mom. A lot of them are good moms. Look, no, for the most part, they're good moms. All of them. And again, I'm never going to shade anyone's parenting unless they are actually abusing a child. But I'm never going to do that. Move on. Okay, y'all. I see y'all reacting. Move on. Next subject. Let's move on. So she tells Dylan and Aiden. I love their bond too. Aiden and Dylan, how close they are. Sometimes that doesn't naturally happen. For what Cynthia, our caller that called in and talking about beating up her sister. Cynthia, we love you, but that was hilarious to me. Miss a day, miss a lot, for those that may have missed it. But I love that they get along so well. It doesn't always work that with siblings, where you're not necessarily close with them. But I love that. I love that they're close like that. And Aiden is saying that I'll help you, I'll manage you, I'll help you with the marketing, but I want, what did he say? You wanted 5%? And Dylan was like 2%. Okay, 2%. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Say again? No, that's fine. Thank you. Live show. See, well, this is why I did not want to go live while they were still working here, guys. But it's okay. It's all right. It's a live show. Jenna says, I have agreed with a caller more. Cynthia is me. Jenna, you're going to have to tell us that story. Mr. Mellon says Aiden was in his Apollo bag then. Don't even compare the two. He was in his mother's bag, not Apollo's bag. Melissa says, I love that we are live. And Jermaine says, who's that? The people that work here. People that work here. That's why I delayed the live, because I did not want interruptions, guys. All right. Elle says negotiations are important. That's the thing. Never take the first offer. That's the lesson in negotiating. Jenna says, did Kemp say what they were fixing? No, they were working on something on the outside of the building, but they have to go through my apartment. Y'all mind y'all business. Anyway, back to this. Glenn says, I thought that was your... See? You see what I'm saying? No. Okay. Please understand, I wouldn't have answered. My boo would have knew better. Let me see what you guys have said in here. Angel says, Dylan and Aiden are not like Apollo. Apollo still don't got no job. Right? Pajamami says, you must always negotiate every job offer, everything. And this is coming from an HR professional. Issa says, we love you, Kev. I know. That's why I only answered, because I could have literally just muted it, but I didn't. But it's okay. All right, let me turn this up, y'all. So, Allie says, we nosy. Y'all are my people, but it ain't that deep, y'all. All right, they just all in your business. Right, April? All in my business. And Jenna says, I'm nosy. Jenna, did you say that you wanted to be a mod? I'll make you a mod now. We'll do our clinical stuff. I just want to confirm you said you wanted to be a mod. All right, so back to this, guys, because we have a lot to talk about, and I still have this is why I was trying to do our Diddy updates early, so that, not our Diddy updates, do this recap earlier, because I had the Diddy updates. Those are every single day. So I wanted to get done before we get into Diddy later on. All right. Jenna says, ain't he locked up? Who is locked up? Like, who is locked up? This is important to know. For you, our community is always teaching us. Jenna says you can even negotiate your severance. Oh, thank you, Mom Allie. She says she did. Let me make Jenna a mod. Because Jenna, I've actually met Jenna in real life too. Let me make Jenna a mod. Hold on, y'all. Add as a mod. Okay. All right, Jenna. Jenny, you're a mod. Thank you. We'll add a couple more because we need a couple of King's Guards in the chat. But shout out to our current King's Gods, our King's Gods. There we go. Our King's Guards, Mama Ali and Foxy, that are always holding us down in the live chat. And of course, we have our other mods as well. All right, focus, y'all, so I can get through this. So I thought that was a sweet scene. Fine. So they're going to have an event. Phaedra tells Dylan about the event that she wants to have, where he can show off his pants and things like that he's designing. Okay. Elle Singleton asks a good question. She says, quick question. Did Apollo cheat on Faye when he had a kid 20 years ago? Inquiring Minds wants to know. Here's the thing. We still don't know the right math when it comes to Aiden's birth. I don't remember when Apollo and Phaedra got together. The Angela Stanton of it all makes it seem as if they were together. They weren't even together when Angela knew them. Angela Stanton. Remember the one who wrote the book? Went to jail? Blah, blah, blah. Accused Phaedra of stuff, allegedly. She said when she was working with them, allegedly, she didn't even realize that they were together like that. So I don't know the timeline. I'm still interested to how Apollo found out about this other kid while he was in jail this last time. Okay? And we're just finding out about this guy. Now, all of a sudden, we're seeing pictures of them on social media. It's weird. But again, we have to remember what the man went to jail for. I can't trust the word that comes out of his mouth. All right, let me focus because I need to get through this, and then we can take all kinds of sidebars. Okay. So Phaedra makes that announcement to the boys in regards to this fashion event that she wants to throw. Does she own the showroom? It doesn't seem like she owns the showroom. It seems like she's in partnership with the person that owns the showroom. Something's sketchy about that. But anyway, so she's going to host this event later on. Okay. So then we have Kelli heading to court. So what we find out when Kelli heads to court, we find out that they were trying to get a lot of we saw what happened with Portia's divorce from Simon. That was an all-day event. It went from 9 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night. And you saw that the cameras could not be in the courtroom at the time. So I thought it was interesting. I'm glad I didn't show you guys that footage of Portia's situation, because I don't think that lady, sorry, blogger, I don't think she was supposed to be recording those courtroom proceedings. So I'm glad we didn't show them, but we talked about them. Just saying. But so Kelli goes into court and they don't come to any resolution. She doesn't finalize her divorce. She had hoped to finalize her divorce, but she didn't finalize her divorce. And her ex-husband, or soon-to-be ex-husband at the time, ends up going to jail again. And the only reason why he ends up going to jail again was because he didn't pay child support. And the only reason why he got out the first time was because he paid child support. Why are you not paying for... He had, 3 children with Kelli? Remember, Kelli has her daughter from another relationship? We know nothing really about Mark. That is her ex. Now they finalized the divorce. We know nothing really about him, but based on what we've heard, it definitely sounds toxic. There's nothing that could necessarily change my mind about who he might be as a person, based off the strength of how he helped raise her other daughter. That's not necessarily biologically his, but he's known her since she was a little girl, and now he doesn't even talk to her, but he talks to his other daughters. Off the strength of that, and then the abuse allegations that she had against him, and then him not paying his child support. So I'm good on him. Oh, okay, thank you, Tina Cole. Tina Cole says the judge allowed her to record. She had a Rule 22. I didn't know at the time, but thank you for that. I didn't know whether or not, again, because all I saw were the clips. Okay, all right, Chioma says the blogger stated that she got permission to record in the courtroom. Okay, I didn't know, so that's why I didn't want to share it. And unless I hear directly from either the person, or actually, no, directly from the judge in that instance, I'm not going to run with it. Okay, anyway, exactly. Toya says, you have to be a sorry wonder to not take care of your children. And that's why he ended up going to jail the same day, because he didn't pay child support. Mark, Kelli's now ex-husband. At the time, she was hoping to divorce him. So Shamia comes over that same day to comfort Kelli, to update her, like, I'm still not divorced. He got arrested. He still hasn't paid child support. So he got arrested again for not paying child support. All right. So Angela, and it stood out to me. See, this is why I like Angela. Angela calls Kelli to check on Kelli because everyone knew that Kelli was going into court today. And hey, Vicky, going into court today, and that she was probably going to finalize her divorce. But she tells Angela, yeah, we haven't finalized it. They arrested him again. But to me, that was such a big point of who Angela is. They've had their issues. You saw how, what's her name? How Brit and Kelli sort of like tag teamed Angela at the Bailey Q. But you saw how Angela still showed up for her. Angela is a stand-up person. And Lavender said he's 5 times larger than Kelli. Okay. And uglier. Oh, damn. Inside and out, it looks like, based on what we're seeing. Okay, let me move on. So Angela calls and checks up on her. That's when it leads to a conversation where Kelli reveals that she has not spoken to Brit since Grenada. So Brit hasn't called her, but I thought they sort of like had the conversation in Grenada and they were okay. Maybe not as close as they used to be, but I think this is the whole underlying issue with the team and what's going on with the team. And we're not going to talk about the stylist that's been on social media liking shady posts towards Kelli and responding to comments. A lot of these folks down there, it seems like, are thirsty. Take a sip. Thirsty for attention, because at the end of the day, you have a business. As a stylist, as a person in the background, you should never be in the foreground. You know what I mean? That's just my thing. And if you want to be in the foreground, I personally wouldn't want to work with you. But I saw that the stylist has been coming to the defense of Brit, saying Brit pays. Apparently, I mean, she may pay you, but she ain't paying the country club or that decor specialist that she hired. Okay. Just saying. All right. So she says she hasn't spoken. Kelli says she hasn't spoken to Brit since Grenada. All right. But we'll talk more about that and what's going on with that. Then we have this scene where the invitations for Phaedra's event is sent out to all the women. And that's where Phaedra talks about the event and that this showroom is her friend. Look, Phaedra every other week has a different job. I don't know how many jobs Phaedra has right now. I don't know if any of those are necessarily real. Because, like, how do you have time to have this many jobs? Unless you're an investor, that's one thing. But you're talking about you're a Reiki healer, you're an attorney, you are working in the funeral business. That scene that they showed when she was at the funeral home, that seemed like they were just filming a scene. It seemed like he was updating her on his business. If anything, I do appreciate, because we remember the years of Phaedra going through the entire process. It wasn't an easy process to get into the funeral business. She went to school and everything for it. But I don't know how active she is in it. Maybe she's just an investor and she's not necessarily doing anything necessarily with the business. But if anything, getting this business highlighted on Real Housewives of Atlanta just brings more business for him. So I just thought that was interesting. But anyway, Kelli hosts a William and Sonoma event. She's done quite a few of them. I remember even before we even knew who she was, people were talking about going to her events. Okay. So they flash back to a scene where Kelli challenged Charles to a cook-off. So this William and Sonoma event, not everyone, just Phaedra, Cynthia, Angela, of course, Kelli, went to the William and Sonoma event where her and Charles were going to make these waffles, and they did the waffle thing. I mean, we can't judge it. They looked good. Everyone said both were good. It was a tie. I don't know. I know Kelli has referred to herself as a chef. Has she gone to culinary school? I can't remember if she's mentioned that. Danny says, does Phaedra still practice law? Yeah. Wasn't it just like last year, one of those reality TV stars said that she had won a case, finally won a case and won his case? So she still practiced law. I don't know, her winning record, but she still practiced law. Hold on. Gary says, Phaedra has a lot of, quote, involvements for the camera. Let's not be fooled with these, quote, jobs. Hence why I said what I said. So I don't know if these are investments or what they may be. Oh, yes. Thank you guys so much for all the donations. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've turned it on for today's live. So feel free to keep donating. I think we can reach our goal today, right? Where are we with our goal? Let me refresh this page. We're almost at our goal today. We're raising money for the center. 100% of your donation goes to the center from YouTube giving. Let me see. We're almost at our goal. We have raised $2,845. We were able to raise $500 in one live for this damn song.
So be free. I wanna be free. Get on with my life.
Enough of that. You guys see Sweet Tea? Now people are speculating that Sweet Tea might be on the next season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Bravo, we don't need that. We barely liked her on Married to Medicine. We definitely don't want to see her on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She is not a housewife or housewife material. She's already trying to produce her own little thing, the doctor's wise on social media, and nobody cares about that. Gary says, oops, you weren't supposed to see that, Kemp. Mm-hmm. Look, mm-hmm. All right, it's okay, guys. Keep liking the video if you haven't already. We will be taking callers in a moment. Once we hit our goal, be sure to let me know. Thank you. And thank you to everyone that's donated. We're going to shame the people that haven't donated. If you haven't donated, why? For everyone that's donated, raise your hand. We're being facetious for those that might be new here. We're talking about how Shamia shamed Brit for her donation. All right. Moving on, this William and Sonoma event is happening simultaneously as Cynthia and Portia go over Brit's house. Brit's house is under construction, hence why she probably hasn't invited anyone over there. Because I was looking around, they had the little plastic up, and then I looked into the other room that looked a mess, and I was like, oh, okay. But it's a nice house from what I can tell. But this might be part of the reason why she hasn't invited anyone over. But she's made a big deal about you're not trying to get to know me. So Portia makes a joke in her confession. It's like, this is such a big deal that I've been invited to Brit's home. So they go over Brit's home and they go down to the basement and they're having a conversation, okay, about Kelli and Kelli's team, and Kelli's team saying that Kelli didn't want them working with Brit. Cynthia on Watch What Happens Live says that, that wasn't going to work, sharing a team. I feel as if Kelli was being nice to Brit. I don't believe Brit when Brit says, oh, you need a sidekick and that's why you offered your team to me. No, I think Kelli was trying to be nice to Brit originally, but then Kelli got in her feelings and got jealous that Brit was looking better with the styling than she was. But here's the thing. Just because you have a stylist doesn't mean that you're going to look great. Because the stylist might have a vision, but then you're like, no, I don't like that. I think I look better in this. So a lot of times you can have a stylist, but you're choosing the things and the stylist might not agree with you. Or the stylist might not be good. I'm not saying, but the fact that Brit looked better than you says to me, maybe it's decisions that you're making. For the most part, Kelli looks a hot mess. I could probably count on one hand the amount of times that Kelli has looked great this season. From hair, makeup, outfits, for the most part, don't look great. Don't look great. Sorry. So I don't necessarily blame the stylist. I blame you, especially if now that we can compare. All right. So Brit brings this up to Cynthia and Portia about Kelli telling her team not to work with her. But Brit in her confessional is like, Kelli in her confessional says, yeah, I told him not to work with her. I thought it was weird that she wanted to use my entire team. And I know what we've said in regards to, yes, a lot of celebrities, a lot of reality TV stars share stylists and things like that. But the way that Kelli is making it seem is that Brit wanted her entire team. I guess security, stylists, hair, makeup, blah, blah, blah. The only time that would probably bother me is if they're spending so much time with Brit that when I need them, they're not available. That's the only time that would bother me. Anyone else? That is the only time that would bother me. So, But I also think the bigger issue here is that Kelli was a little jealous that Brit was probably looking better in the styling and things like that. But I do think her entire team, I mean, the whole entire team part, I'm like, I think you're just talking about the hairstylist, the makeup stylist. But I also think Kelli was being generous by sharing that. I think she was trying to be supportive. I've said this before. Let's not forget that Kelli really did show up for Brit when no one else was showing up for Brit. Oh, that's true, Shakira. Shakira brings up, I like the suit that she wore to court. That again, I said a handful of times that Kelli has actually looked good. Oh, Keith says, I'm on Kelly's side. Why you need everything I got? I mean, I get it on some hand, again, especially if it's affecting you. But again, a lot of these stylists and hairstylists and makeup artists, they're shared across the board. That's not necessarily a big deal. All right, let's move on. Guys, we're almost at our goal. I see we're already at $2,935 for our Pride Month fundraiser. We're almost there. Okay. What else is said during this situation? Because remember, these events are happening simultaneously. Okay. All right. So then this man comes up at the William and Sonoma event, comes up to Angela, and he's just like, can we talk off camera? And she's like, huh? He's like, who are you? And she's like, do I know you? And he's like, you don't know me, but I know your husband. Excuse me? Like, that is pretty damn ballsy. That is pretty damn ballsy to just be showing up, going up to someone's wife and on camera, even though he did say that he wanted to talk about it off camera. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. And he then says he doesn't tell Angela in that moment what he wanted to say to her. He then spills it when they are taking, because Kelli does a cheers with a group of the fans that were watching. And he does a cheer, and he says that, what did he say? I wrote it down. He says, cheers if your name is Angela and your husband is cheating on you. So for me, you came in there trying to be malicious. It's not like you were trying to help Angela, because that cheers was like, you came in there on a mission. And do you guys believe that Charles did not hear him? It was hard to tell because remember, sound is controlled by production. So, and I also don't know the proximity. A lot of the William and Sonomas are not that big, but there were a lot of people in there. So do you believe, because I believe if Charles heard that, Charles, I don't think is going to not turn up. I know he's sort of fallen back in regards to since the Madison Square Garden of it all. But I think if Charles heard something, he would have said something. I don't think Charles is no punk. Okay, I don't think Charles is a punk. But I thought that was pretty damn ballsy because again, he made it seem like he was coming to Angela to be nice, to be nice, and then he's just like, can we talk off camera? And then you go over to the side where Kelli, and I appreciate Kelli in that moment. So like, oh, we're not doing that, and she's like, security, get him out of here. He's like, cheers if your name is Angela and your husband's cheating on you. He said a bunch of nothing. Anybody can come up into a situation and accuse someone of cheating. Anyone can do that. Jody says, I don't think he could hear. I don't think he could hear either. Because again, I don't think Charles is no punk. And if he heard a punk saying something about him, he would have said something. Exactly. So Charles is a Sagittarius. He would have jumped off. So I thought again, I think a lot of us can tell from that situation that he came in there to be messy, to be a messy queen, and to start trouble. That's exactly why he came. And I can never respect anyone that's that thirsty or to do the dirty work of someone else. Because what was the point of that? You did that because you were paid to come there and do it. But who paid him? Who was behind it? Well, you saw who ran outside after it and ran to call Portia. So I believe it was Portia and Phaedra. In the after show, Angela, you're better than me but I guess she wanted to get to the bottom of it. And so she offered to give him her number. She was like, take my information. Like, I want to hear what you have to say. Or she probably wanted to get to the bottom of like, who sent you here? Because I don't know you. And apparently Marcus works at a restaurant that Charles frequents. Did Marcus lose his job? Because let me tell you something, that is grounds to lose your job. Why are you hunting down one of our patrons, going to their, that could be considered stalking. Okay, that could be considered, why are you hunting down one of our patrons' wife in order to spill tea? I don't know if Marcus was mic'd up. Remember, they have like those overhead, the boom mics and things like that too. So he didn't necessarily have to be mic'd up. I definitely think it was a plot that was set up between either Phaedra, Portia, and production. Or it could be all three. It could be all three, or it could just be production. But it was definitely giving produced. Stephanie says definitely stalking. Chanel says, now why y'all think Portia paid him? Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see who paid him. We'll have to wait and see to see who paid him. Mello says, I thought he was the restaurant owner. I don't think so. I think he works there. I don't think he's the restaurant owner. That's even worse if he is, but I don't think he is. No, he said, I literally watched it. He says, I work at the restaurant. So, and just because someone says my restaurant doesn't mean mine, just saying. Dalen says that definitely a plot, but I'm not sure who to place the blame on. But we find out next week. We find out on the season finale of the Real Housewives of Atlanta who is behind the plot. But we definitely heard that Angela says that someone paid him to be there. Okay. Carolyn says it was Todd. Poor Todd. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But let's say he owned it. Either way, sir, you're going to risk your good business. And if Charles is a patron of your restaurant, you're going to be a messy queen on reality television. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, wait, is he a part-time Paul Smith says, as a part-time bartender, I would never do that. See? Kelli says, on the episode, Kelli said the people who don't show up probably paid him in regards to Portia, Brit, and Cynthia. But we know Cynthia wouldn't do that. All right. Or would she? No. What would be Cynthia's motivation? So that's what happens at the event. In regards to Marcus being messy, he makes that cheers. Kelli kicks him out. Once Phaedra, according to Angela, Phaedra was telling Angela, don't give him your energy. Don't pay attention to him. But that could be her doing damage control for all we know. Because as soon as she left the restaurant, she's calling Portia to tell Portia, and Portia was just like, but here's the thing, I don't trust Portia either. Portia is a good liar. I don't know okay, she's a liar. I wouldn't say she's a good liar. So I don't know. Your girl Pepe says, is the restaurant, sir, messy? All right, let's move on from there because they talk about that. All right, they had that situation. Sidebar, in regards to the Kelli and the Brit issue, when Kelli tried to say, like, she didn't understand why Brit wanted to use her entire team, she was like, the energy is giving, I'm really not that girl. Kelli, I'm not 100% that you're really that girl. Because the money seems a little funny. I don't know how well Nana's chicken and waffles are doing, but I don't know. Guys, it could be the YouTube app. Swipe out of it and then come back in. That might be YouTube acting up. That's not me because everything is working on my end. It could be the app. All right. Exactly. Thank you, Ashley. Ashley says, leave out YouTube and come back. It fixed audio for me. It could be YouTube. That happened a while ago, too. Thank you. Yeah, it's the app. Thankfully, it's not me this time. So if you're having an issue with the sound or I'm frozen for you, swipe out of the YouTube app and then come back on in. It could be a lot of people on YouTube when it comes to the Diddy trial of it all. Thank you guys. All right, so let me get back to this so that we don't lose track. So we had Kelly's event. Here we go again. Count it. What is this, Kelly's 6th event? Is it this her 6th event? Like, she's had so many events. But again, I'm not too sure about Kelly and the money. The money's a little funny to me, okay? All right, let's move on from there because Phaedra calls Portia and Cynthia and Brit to tell her what went down. And their reaction, of course, has to be like, oh my gosh, really? Someone said that Charles is cheating? Okay. Thank you, Natasha. Natasha says, yeah, it's the app for sure. All good now. Yes. So if you guys are having an issue, swipe out, then come back on in. That's been happening a lot with YouTube lately. I don't know what it is. But we'll move on. Exactly. Meat says, and Kelly feeds at her events. I have to give it to her, even though the money might be funny. At least at least her events don't feel that way. She's been able to really throw events and do well, which is good, especially coming from the brand that she has of being a cook and a restaurant owner. It's good that she's able to throw an event and feed people, and people walk away feeling like, oh, this was a good event. All right, so Phaedra does that. Again, we don't know what happened with that, all right? So Phaedra's event, before Phaedra's event even happens, Portia calls Phaedra, FaceTimes Phaedra to let her know she won't be able to come to the event because her cousin, Londi, who we've known from Portia's Family Matters, she was on there. She was an important... We actually, for those of us that recapped and talked about it, we liked Londi. We didn't like how Portia treated Londi, but that's her cousin. And our show says the crotchety dog event. But she threw an event and it had food. Just saying. Kelly's event. So Londi, as you already know, Londi had passed away. We don't know how Londi passed away, but Londi was like only 30-something years old. Okay? And I thought that was... Oh, thank you for the reminder. I didn't talk about this. Thank you, Keith. I'm going to talk about that. But yeah, so we'll backtrack because I didn't talk about Portia and the Shamia of it all in that scene. But Portia, before the event, cancels because Londi has passed away. Rest in peace to Londi. I love the fact that they celebrated Londi in this episode and showed the moments that we've seen with Londi. We saw Londi at the top of the season. Remember when she had her Pampered by Portia meeting with her team? Londi was there. Londi worked with Portia in a variety of different ways, but she worked with her with Pampered by Portia, and she was also at the Pampered by Portia event as well. She was spearheaded that. So rest in peace to Londi. Backtracking to Portia at Brit's house. So Brit, in talking about the Kelly of it all, as you know, Brit and Shamia had their falling out. So Brit tells Portia, she showed me your text conversation, Shamia. And in that text conversation, Brit says that it was the lawyer conversation that Shamia was sharing in regards to what the lawyer said to Portia. However, Portia says in her confessional, no, she showed her my conversation with my therapist. And here's the thing. Portia doesn't give grace to Shamia. However, that is pretty damning if that is true. Even though I saw on social media, Shamia is denying showing anything to Brit. But she did detail what was said in the conversation. So that makes me wonder, again, I think we're all looking at Shamia now with the, are you who we think you are, or are you someone else? But again, they had a conversation, Portia and Shamia, that they're not going to let these women get involved in their relationship. If there's an issue, I'm going directly to you. But you guys saw Portia's response. Portia's response wasn't giving, we had the conversation, we're good. I'm sure whatever that was, it wasn't a big deal. Portia was leaning in.
When you golf in Missouri, the courses are so close, you'll spend more time on the fairway than the freeway. Reserve a tee time at the Regal Osage National, designed by the king himself, Arnold Palmer. Take a cart ride on the wild side in the breathtaking surrounds of Payne's Valley, designed by Tiger Woods. And after the back nine, there's still world-class dining and distilleries, shops and spas, museums, and more. Find your new golf MO in Missouri. Start planning your golf getaway at visitmo.com.
Ever feel like your WordPress site is moving in slow motion? Switch to Kinsta's managed hosting for WordPress and watch it fly. Host your site on Google Cloud's fastest servers with worldwide data centers so your pages load instantly. Need help? WordPress experts respond in under 2 minutes and will migrate to your site for free. Try it yourself. First month free at Kinsta.com. That's Kinsta.com. Kinsta. Simply better hosting.
To having the issue with Shamia. She's like, oh, really? Very much like when Angela brought that information to her. So she doesn't give Shamia grace, even though Shamia wished her happy birthday yesterday. And I saw all you guys in the comments trying to say, like, she ain't your friend. Who cares at this particular point? If Shamia wants to be friends with Portia and Portia continuously is doing what she's doing to her, girl, you like it, we love it. I can't say that I want to watch it next season because, like, girl, I'm like, you like a friend like that? Fine. B. Simone has friends too. Have y'all seen that stuff going on too? Like, oh God, those clips I saw from that interview with B. Simone and her best friend. I'm gonna put best friend in quotes. Okay. P says best frenemies, Shamia and Portia. I don't even know if that's even frenemies. I don't know what that is. Because you know what it is? For frenemies, you can kind of tell if there's an, like there's an issue, but there seems to be like an underlying issue that they never talk about. I don't know. But so Brit brings this news to Portia about, oh, she shared texts. She showed me your text messages. I'm always looking, especially on how you're bringing that news to me. I'm looking at the person that's bringing the news to me. So you don't like Shamia. You're in the middle of an argument with Shamia. So I'm now looking at how you move and in your intention in regards to Brit. But anyways, guys, we are $25 away from our $3,000 goal for this month's fundraiser. All we need is like 5 people to donate $5 or 20 or 25 people. How many people are even here? We have over 2,000 people here. If everyone donated $1, we'll definitely be over our goal. Come on, donate or I'm going to shame you. Shame. No, thank you to everyone that's already donated to our YouTube giving fundraiser for the center. With everything that's going on in America, it's important to support these charities that are being cut. There are a lot of organizations that are not receiving their funding due to this current administration. There are a lot of people that are not getting the funding. So let's allow and support the center this month by fundraising. You already know my real goal is $5,000, but we're almost at our $3,000 goal. So who's going to help us get there? Who's going to help us get there? Oh, Foxy, you did not have to do that, but thank you for the donation. We appreciate your support. All right, let me... Yeah, we reached it. Let me do my little dance. Oh, wait, let me do the thing. Come on. Thank you to everyone that has donated to our fundraiser. Again, 100% of your donation. We're going to we still have how many more days? We still have a week. This is the last week in Pride. So let's continue to raise more and more money. But thank you to everyone that's donated, shared our lives. Even if you haven't donated or can't donate, I also understand people are going through their own financial straits. But you can also share this video. You can share any of our videos and ask people to donate. All right. Shout out to everyone that's donated, the anonymous donations as well. We appreciate you guys. So thank you. We appreciate it. All right. Before I move into our last scene, I am going to drop the call-in link for our King's Guards first, and then I will drop the call-in link for our live chat. But live chat, we have over 2,000 of you guys here. but we only have less than 600 likes. I never understand that, but some people forget. All right, some of y'all forget. It's okay. Don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting my channel. And don't forget, later on today, day 28. I can't keep up with the numbers. Day 28 recap of the Diddy trial will be coming to you here on the channel and on our podcast. Don't forget, I also stopped by Femtaro's YouTube yesterday to talk about Diddy, Tyler Perry, Karen Reed. We talked about the mayoral race here. We pulled some of the tarot cards. Be sure to check that out. You can check that out on Femtaro's YouTube page as well. Go over there, subscribe, go give it a like. And you can also hear it on the Kempire podcast later today. All right, so if you're a member of the channel, I dropped the call link for you guys. Let's get to this event. So as I said to you before, Portia was not going to be at the event because Londi has passed away. Rest in peace to Londi. All right, so the women start arriving for this event. Drew is late. Y'all, I don't know why people are coming for Drew this season, and I'm not going to sit here and act as if Drew has been my favorite over the years. But I have to say, I've liked her more this season. It might be because she's no longer with Ralph. Did you guys notice in the after show that Phaedra was like, Ralph is brilliant? Wait. Look.
Lies! The lie!
He's brilliant and a cutie patootie. What? What? Huh? Look, brilliant? I have yet to see the brilliance because she spills tea in the after show that Ralph is paying for all of the bills and things like that in the home. That says to me that you've had a conversation with Ralph because that's the only way that you even know that he's paying for all the things. I was like, why are y'all? And honestly, the scene outside was more interesting than whatever was going on inside. Drew's flirting with the Atlanta police. They're giving her chicken because she is that girl. People know who she is. She's having conversations. Drew is lovely. She's having conversations with the women outside that were also locked out. Drew, you've been late, though. Because even Portia mentioned it during the Grenada trip that you're always late. And I know Atlanta has terrible traffic. However, everyone else was able to make it on time. Why are you the only cast member that has not made it on time? But again, maybe it's just from where she's coming from. They're not all coming from the same place. So Drew is locked outside. But the thing is that the event hasn't even started yet. And Drew is like, Drew. So the event hasn't even started yet. So Phaedra's just being Faye, shady Faye. They wanted to have a moment by locking her out. Okay? And it just happened that everyone else, including Sweet Tea, were locked out. But before we even get to that part, the women arrive looking a mess. I didn't like anyone's outfit. And at first, I thought I liked Brit. I liked Brit's bob. Brit's hair and makeup looked great. But I was like, oh, maybe I like her outfit. And then I got a closer look at the outfit. And I was like, oh, no, I don't like her outfit either. I didn't like any of their outfits. The only outfit that I kind of liked was Drew's. Drew's fashion and hair and makeup have been on point this season. Thankfully, because the way that they've been trying to make Drew their storyline and come for Drew all the time, thankfully, like, Drew has been having a good season, all right? Drew, you want to come open up for me at the City Winery on August 5th and perform your song? You must be delusional. You're not paying. I'm not paying you, though. It's for promotion, girl. Come on. All right. Oh, okay. Sarah says it was 15 minutes, not 1 hour. Be calm and let her in. Phaedra is about the antics. We already know that with Phaedra. I felt like they were just doing that to be petty. But again, she wouldn't be able to put her in that position if Drew arrived early. Just saying. But anyway, before we even get to that. So when Brit arrives, she says hello to Kelli, and Kelly's just like, here's the thing. I can understand maybe ignoring someone. You could just be cold, though, Kelli. You could have just been like, hey. That's it. The whole looking up in the air like you don't know that she's there was sort of like, how old are we? Like what are you doing? Like, how old are we? Like, what's happening here? So that happens. So it then leads to them having a conversation. Wait, let me just make sure I'm covering all the things because I'm rushing through just because we have so many things to talk about. Oh no, let's talk about Angela. Angela, I wish you had come in there with that wig looking better though. Like the body is tea, But the hair was like, I was like, I don't like this look on Angela right now. But Angela came in saying, oh, I've been, I have people that don't play about me, and I've looked into the whole situation that went down at the event. So she brings that up, and she says, we have people that don't play about me and Charles. So she said she got the information. She sent someone to go talk to him, Marcus, the thirsty one. And she said she did her own research. And I was like, oh, I wasn't ready for that. I didn't expect for Angela to say that. I was like, okay, Angela, show these people how you do it. So she came into this event saying, yeah, I did my own research. And they were like, so who did it? She's like, someone paid him to be there. But she said that, she's going to get more information. And there's going to be a scene with Angela and Drew meeting up with this guy. I love the fact that Drew and Angela have at least found each other in regards to having each other's back this season, because they needed it. They needed each other. And I hope that just only flourishes. Okay? I will say this. Angela ends up finding information, and based off of Watch What Happens Live, they said that Angela came with receipts at the reunion. She was like the receipt queen. I'm saying that, but they said she had a lot of receipts at this reunion. Miss Melon Magic said she had Netta look into it about Charles. All right. So Angela comes in letting the ladies know, yeah, I did my own research. I did my own research on who did this, and that I found out someone paid this person to be there. Who would pay someone to do that? It has to be someone on the cast or production. Anyone else, who cares? Easter said, me too, Easter. Easter says, I am so embarrassed for Marcus. Now he's known for the... Right? Like... Messy. Like you get a moment. You get a moment in time, and this is what people know you for. But all right. Moving on. Let's move on from that, because then it blows up between Brit and Kelli. All right. So they get into it in regards to Brit using Kelli's team. And Brit starts going off like, oh, she begged her team not to work with me. Kelli needs a sidekick. She gets in her feelings, and she's like, Kelly's just sort of like starting to act like the big bad wolf. And she's like, oh no, what did she say? She's something else, wolf. I didn't care, because I don't think Kelly's a big bad wolf, and I don't think Brit's comebacks were that great. However, a lot of people were confused based off the trailer that we saw, because all we saw was Kelli say to Phaedra, she's like, oh, and your pill-popping roommate. Because remember, Phaedra and Brit shared a room, so they were roommates. So she was referring to Brit. I always forget Brit's name. She was referring to Brit. So she was saying that Brit was a pill popper. I was like, oh, okay. So she went low. Again, because they were already going back and forth in regards to the whole a team of it all. Okay. So then it goes from calling her a pill popping a roommate. She's like, this is what Brit says to Kelli. Nobody wants to be you little hobbit. All right. But when she makes the pill popping roommate, everyone reacts to it. Everyone from the cast reacts to it. But the reaction that stood out to me was Phaedra, because Phaedra in her confessional, she's like, well, she's only offered me Advil PM. I didn't get the Michael Jackson Propofol special. Oh my gosh. She's like, I didn't get the Michael Jackson Propofol special. That made me laugh. I was like, oh Lord, Phaedra, you are ridiculous. But so everyone's just like, what did she mean by pill popping roommate? Okay. Well, she was a cute, I guess. I don't know where that came from, but it went low. It went from there to hell, because then Brit decided to bring up the fact that Kelli must have confided in her about having unaliving babies. Okay, I don't know if we could say those words here on YouTube. All right. So here's the thing. A lot of people are sort of, including the cast, were saying that, oh, that was low, Brit. You should have never said that. She just said that she was a pill popper, y'all. Don't get me here defending Brit, but I'm going to call a spade when necessary. She just said that she was a pill popper. That was defamatory as well. Would I have brought up the unaliving of babies? No, personally, and I agree with Cynthia on Watch What Happens Live. That Cynthia was basically saying, if it was me, well, I think it was on the after show. That Cynthia was like, there have been a lot of stuff that have happened amongst these women, things that she could have brought up, but she's not that type of friend. I'm that type of friend. It would take a lot for me to spill someone's tea. Okay, that's not a public figure. But like a friend's tea. So, but here's the thing. You're calling her a pill popper. You can't control how she's going to react. Here go Dainty Bella. Dainty Bella says, is it defamatory if it's true? The same can be said about the response, though. Ms. Parker says, talking about the termination of pregnancies is low down. But isn't calling someone a pill popper just as bad? Not just as bad, but necessarily it's bad, too. I know a lot of people were confused. Kimberly says, I thought she said her roommate was a pill popper. Remember, Kelli was talking to Phaedra. So she was referring to Brit in that moment. Go back and watch the scene we did last night on TikTok so that people could understand in that scene. She wasn't, because remember when we saw the trailer, we thought that she was talking about Michael, Brit's husband. So, exactly. Keisha says they're both wrong. Yeah, because like, why are you spilling each other's tea like that in this conversation? Mia Moore says, who is this hoe? You know, and you saw that's exactly where Kelli went to. She was like, okay, ho, da-da-da-da-da-da. She kept on going off like that because she really went off. But then she says in her confessional that she had her tubes tied after the twins. So, and first of all, she says, my body, my choice. Okay. And then, okay, let me respond to Angela. She says they are not equal, Kempire. I never said that they were equal, but you can't say something defamatory to someone and then control their response. If you're going to call someone a pill popper, here's the thing. Some of y'all get so caught up in being a stand for Kenya or whoever it may be. So that's why you can never say a nice thing about someone you don't necessarily like. And I think a lot of people, because they're Team Twirl or whatever it may be, feel like you can't defend Brit. You called her a pill popper. So if she calls you out on something that you told her, this is what it is. It is what it is. Exactly. Lou says they are not good friends. No one should trust them. Because you saw where they immediately ran to. But anyway. But like I said, no one's saying that they're equal in regards to it, but you can't control someone's response in regards to after you called me a pill popper? Oh. All right, let's move on. Let me see. So they had that back and forth. Kelli's losing it. Phaedra's trying to call her down. She's like, I'm trying to call you, I'm trying to calm you down. You want some Reiki. And here's the thing. When Phaedra talks about being a Reiki healer, I hate the fact that she tries to make it into some laughing, jokey thing in regards to putting a crystal up your vagina. For those that practice Reiki, as someone that practices Reiki, it's not all of that. It's not as woo-woo as she's trying to make it. But anyway, so she's trying to calm Kelli down. Then, of course, after they calm them down, they start the fashion show. We see Angela White's there modeling. They have the fashion show. Drew is still outside. Drew's looking in, and she's like, let me in. Let me in. Exactly. Someone said that they were only TV friends, Brit and Kelli. Clearly. So look, Ashley here says, call me a pill popper, all bets are off. Again, I can't say that I would personally do that, but I'm not shocked. But anyway, we'll move on. And thank you guys so much to everyone that donated to our fundraiser. We appreciate you guys. Shout out to our members that are backstage. We're going to get to some callers in just a second. So they have the fashion show. Dylan shows off his fashion. The fashions look fantastic. I love Dylan's jacket. I don't know if he designed that, but I think he just designed the pants. The pants look great. Remember, we literally, shout out to Dylan for actually having a fashion show with fashions. And I say that because we took how many years to actually get a fashion show? We saw the material he was working on, and then we literally saw pants. We saw pants at the actual fashion show. The pants look fantastic. Dylan, I'm coming to you. I would like some pants to wear for my show in Atlanta on August 5th. Guys, don't forget the Kempire After Dark, the villain era. This week, we have a flash sale for our Philly show. Only this week. Go get your tickets today. There is a $25 flash sale. So if you're in Philadelphia, and if you know someone that's in Philadelphia, or if you are in Philadelphia and you want friends to come, be sure to get your tickets this week. The flash sale ends this Sunday. Go get your tickets today. I will be in Philadelphia on July 10th. That's less than 3 weeks, 2 weeks now, this week. I'll be in a City Winery at the Philadelphia location. Then I'm coming to Atlanta on August 5th. And then I'll be in D.C. on August 22nd, and then we'll be here in New York City on September 12th. The New York City show has a live stream option, so even if you're coming to those shows, or if you live abroad, or if you live in another city that we're not coming to, be sure to get your tickets for the live stream. All right. Okay. Thank you so much for the super chat, Edward. Edward says, I'm not going to lie. I thought this was the season finale. I was shocked when they said that next week is the season finale for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I'm happy. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm glad this is almost over. One more thing. Is Kelli and Brit's friendship over? Yeah. I'm pretty sure their friendship is over, especially now that Brit's not coming back. Again, like Mia Moore just said, they're all just TV friends. None of them are really tight. Even frickin' Frack. They're not friends. They hadn't seen each other probably in such a long time, besides maybe like events in Atlanta. Was Phaedra even at the wedding? Can y'all confirm whether or not Phaedra was even at her Nigerian wedding? Everyone else was. So was Phaedra at the wedding? Y'all want to think that they're real best friends. I don't even think Phaedra was at the wedding. I don't remember seeing Phaedra was at that wedding, but I could be wrong. I've seen Portia with Candy more than I've seen her with Frack. I don't remember which one's which, but whatever. I haven't seen it, but that's me. Exactly. Miss Melman said, I don't think Faye was. I don't think so either. All right. So they have the fashion show. Fantastic. If I missed anything, it probably was unimportant. They eventually let Drew in before Dylan brings out his fashions. They let Drew and some of the other guests, including Sweet Tea, was there. She comes in. Oh, Sweet Tea, no. Let's leave Sweet Tea alone, okay? Let's leave Sweet Tea alone. All right, so Dylan shows off his designs. They look fantastic. My favorite part of that scene was when they showed off their fashions, and then they go in the back. Aiden's there to support him. Aiden's also wearing his brother's designs, and he gives his brother a high five and says, "I'm proud of you." Aww. Look. Whoa. I thought that was so sweet. Didn't y'all think that was sweet? I'd like to see their bond. Because, sometimes it doesn't work that way. Right, Cynthia? our listener backstage. Sometimes it doesn't always work that way. So I thought that was really sweet. Leave Sweet Tea alone, y'all. It's enough is said. Enough has been said, okay? Tanya says, hold on, Sweet Tea was there? Yeah, you see her walk in. She was one of the people held outside. All right. Phaedra, this is probably these are the only times, if you watch Married to Medicine, these are probably the only times that we get to see Phaedra get emotional. And it's talking about, this is the one real thing about Phaedra on this show. And it's her love for her sons. And she's doing a fantastic job with her sons. And she gets really emotional talking about trying to give them a leg up. And I was like, okay, that was the only genuine moment that we probably get from Phaedra. For the most part, she's a caricature of herself. Lane's no, Lane. Oh, damn. See, I had to clarify. No, we're not talking about Cynthia Bailey. We're talking about our community, Cynthia. Lane says, is Cynthia no longer talking to her? No, not Cynthia Bailey. No, we're talking about Cynthia, our caller that called in like last week, okay? Oh, Lord. All right. Moving on. All right. So Phaedra ends this episode by telling the group what happened to Londi. And at this particular point, Shamia already knew because Phaedra says that, Shamia and I already know, but Portia's cousin Londi has passed away. And Shamia gets really emotional because we have to remember, Shamia knows Londi. Shamia has known Londi as long as she's known Portia. And I don't know how close they were, but she gets really emotional. So that's when the group finds out about Portia's cousin Londi passing away. And that's how they end the episode. We see the preview for next week's episode in regards to the big event. It's the season finale. And we see Messy Marcus is going to have another scene. I guess anything to be on reality television. All right. Our show says, "Nuck if you buck Cynthia." Ooh, I have to make sure I clarify that. No, we weren't talking about Cynthia Bailey and her sister. I forgot about Mal. No, we weren't talking about it. And Cynthia's backstage too, so we'll bring Cynthia up in a second. Let me get to the callers. Again, guys, please keep in mind, the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors. And everything that they say is alleged, all right? And we're not responsible. Oh, my God, we're not responsible. Was there anything in the after show that they put out was only 15 minutes. There wasn't really a lot that was mentioned. Shamia does talk about the process that she's been going through when it comes to IVF in the after show. That's when Phaedra talked about Ralph being brilliant and paying all the bills and him being a cutie pie. And I was like, okay. Some of these women are very male-centered, and they will always, no matter what, even if it's not their son, they will always ride for a man and never see it for a woman. And I'm just like, okay. I don't understand Phaedra's disdain for Drew or for Angela. And Angela had a response to her talking. This is why I was like, okay, Angela, keep watching. Angela was just like, has she taken a look in the mirror in regards to, looking old but young? I was like, yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's get to our caller so I can get out of here because I still have to do our Diddy update for the day and I have a couple of other things that I need to do. We have our members backstage live chat. We have over 2,400 of you watching on YouTube and on Facebook. Keep liking the video. Let's get to 900 likes and I will drop the call and link for you guys as well. Zoe, thank you so much for the super chat. Zoe says, don't enter boxing ring and then cry when someone punches you harder. Plus, Kelli called her infertile. Oh, yeah, she did say, oh, don't be mad because you can't have kids or something like that. Called her infertile, so they are even to me. Low blow for low blow, even. Again, I think a lot of people just don't like Brit. And I get it, but you still got to be fair. Stanielle, thank you so much for the super chat. Stanielle says Shamia says she didn't know. Yeah, I did say that Shamia said that she... oh, wait, no, she didn't say she didn't know in regards to Londi because Phaedra says that Shamia knew. But Shamia's response was giving very shocked by the news. But who knows? She could have just been like, some people, when you bring up something that's emotional to them, they can't help but get emotional. So, all right. Alma says, bring Miss Cynthia up, please. She's backstage. We're going to bring her up, but we're going to bring everyone up in order. We have our friend Toya backstage. We're going to bring Toya up first. Toya, what did you want to share about this episode?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Who said what first, Brit or Kelli?
Kelli,
okay. Because I just wanted to say with the whole unaliving of the fetus thing, remember Kelly's was in a abusive relationship with the man who threatened to unalive her in court. And I actually went a dateline in 48 hours, and it's usually the spouse. So I could understand her probably feeling like she couldn't bring any more children into a dangerous situation. So,
but she also said that she had her tubes tied after the twins.
Yeah, so I just feel like it was low blows on all ends,
Yeah.
and I was just thinking like, now this is the kind of drama I want to see. Like, I want to see the girls arguing over, stylists and all that stuff. But then they took it too far.
Yeah.
We're the light drama, and I do think that Kelly only let old girl borrow her team for like it was probably meant for one event, and then I think Brit just wanted them for everything. And I just feel like if you're coming on a reality show, you should already have a hairstylist, a makeup artist, and a clothing stylist on payroll.
Yeah. And you saw what Kelly said in her confession. She's like, maybe she's just not that girl. She's not.
She's not.
She's not.
Thanks, Kempire.
Thanks, Toya. Have a good day. Let's bring up boxer Cynthia. No, Cynthia. For those everyone I keep referencing in regards to Cynthia, I'm not talking about Cynthia Bailey. If you missed it, it was just the previous week. Cynthia came and shared a personal family story about fighting with her sister. Right, Cynthia?
Right, Kempire. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Kempire, you know what? Thanks for the shout out because tomorrow's my birthday.
Happy early birthday.
Cancer rising.
Yes.
Cancer fighting.
Nope. You see, she finds it funny. Mm-hmm.
Kempire, you know what? I will rate last night's episode a 10.
Oh, okay.
It was good.
Why?
You know what I mean? It was different. It was catchy.
Oh.
I wasn't playing Uno on my phone, so I mean, it kept me entertained.
It was a good episode, yeah.
It was a good episode. Brittany, there we go with that. Talking about guns again. Remember she was talking about, what did she say again? Something about the caps out of her gun or something like that. She said something like that, like emptying.
Last night?
Last night. She said it on last night's episode. Correct me if I'm wrong, community.
I need to go back and rewatch that. She'd be saying stuff under her breath.
Yeah, she said that don't make me. She said something about emptying her caps. A gun thing again. I'm like, you know what, Brittany, just go away.
I need to go back and watch that because if that's true, bravo.
It was during the fight, and she was in her confessional when she made that comment.
OMG. Everyone's wishing you a happy birthday, Cynthia.
Thank you guys. Thank you. I love you, Kempire. I love my community friends.
Cynthia, now go call your sister. No, she needs to call you for your birthday.
You know what? She hasn't called me for my birthday in 3 years.
Well, you beat her up, Cynthia.
Okay, I'll talk to my therapist tomorrow. Yeah. I can't have the same birthday as well. Hi.
Have a happy birthday, Cynthia.
The problem is me.
Bye.
Take care, Kempire.
Bye. They said Cynthia Mayweather. Let me get to the rest of these callers. Dayla's back. Say, Dayla, you haven't called in a hot second.
I know, life has been lifing and a lot of changes, but I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. How is everyone? I hope everyone is good.
Mm-hmm.
This episode, I'll give it like a 7.5. It was good. But the Marcus, is that his name? The guy with the... Yeah. Okay. That is one reason why I don't have a lot of gay male friends, because a lot of them are just too messy and you can never know if they're genuinely trying to be your friend or they just want to keep up mess. But Angela is that girl because she causes all these kinds of conversations. Take notes, and you would probably still be on the show from day one. Sheree, Phaedra, Portia. All right, have a nice day.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dayla. Kate says she stays referencing Pow Pows. I need to go back and because again, it was a busy morning, so I was in. We watched it together last night. So sometimes when I watch it with you guys on TikTok, I'm missing out on things. And then this morning here, it was all kinds of like, are y'all coming up or not? I have to go live, blah 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 blah. But here we are. So I missed that. But if she made another reference to the Pow Pow Pow, like, okay, everyone's saying that she said it in her confessional, girl. All right, O'Shea's backstage. We're gonna bring O'Shea up next. O'Shea, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
Regardless of what happens next week, I know damn well that Phaedra and Portia schemed that guy for Angela. No matter what, I just as soon as it happened, I was like, this is the two of y'all. I mean, they did this the last time they were together, like 7 years ago, and still no lessons have been learned. So regardless, I just know that it's them. But yeah, I just came to say that. And, you know, I agree with what you said about the Kelli and Brit thing. You can't, if you throw the rock first, you can't come whining if a boulder comes running down at you. Like, it is what it is. No. And also just one thing, that regardless of what Kelly's reasons are for, you know, for whatever had happened, like, she doesn't need to, like, explain what there was, you know, an abusive relationship, whatever, that's like her business. But then again, she shouldn't have thrown the first stone. Because, and she knows that Brit can go into the gutter. Like, this is known information. But thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, OJ. Yeah, I mean, look, I think what we're saying here in regards to this Brit and Kelly situation, would I have said that? No. But at the same time, Kelly was just calling her a pill popper. I'm not saying that they're equal, but if she's going to come out with a response, that's going to be her response. Anyway, Miss Bernice is backstage. We're going to bring Miss Bernice up next. Miss Bernice, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
What up, though, everybody? What up, though? How you doing?
Hey.
From my observation from watching last night's episode, Brittany is the type of person that will borrow your stuff and keep it so long that you think it's hers, or you will loan her money. You got to pay me this back on this such date, and she never pay you back, and she think, well, you got it, you don't need it back. That's her attitude. Now, y'all not looking at it like that. Y'all looking at it like, oh, she upset because she not looking good. I loaned you my glam squad for a short period of time, and then you took over. Y'all not looking at it like that. And of course, Kelly is upset. Like, come on now. When I call her for me, they doing you. I wasn't giving you. I loaned you. So give them back. I shouldn't have to call them to get them back. Like, y'all, I thank y'all for helping me. Y'all go back to Kelly. She's not that type of person.
Yeah.
Y'all not figuring this out?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Well,
she's an energy vampire. She's gonna take. Because I deserve this.
Okay. All right, Miss
But
Bernice.
that's what y'all want to see on y'all screen. So that's my 2 cents. Love you. Stay cool. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye. All right. Guys, we're almost at 900 likes. I'm going to drop the call link for the general audience as well. General audience, though, you will only get 30 seconds. Our members, though, we have Keith backstage, Taurus with the T, Zena, Zoe, Tyler, and Tamara backstage. They will get a minute. Everyone else, you will only get 30 seconds. There we go. All right, let me drop the link, and let's bring Keith up next. Keith, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. So with this whole Brit, Edie, and Kelly situation, I'm on Kelly's side with the whole stylist situation. However, when it comes to the argument, I am on Brit's side in regards to that. And my reason being is because with Kelly, I kind of understand her point because, you know, I'm like a gatekeeper myself. I'm going to be honest. I don't like telling people where I shop. I don't like telling people who braids my hair. I don't like telling people where I get my furniture. You know, I had to do my own research. You should too. However, with the situation and the argument with Brit, I would say with Brit, I had to really take a step back and really, at first I was on Kelly's side. I felt like it was a little low, but then I had to take a step back and realize, well, when I argue, if someone goes to hell, I have no problem being their roommate. So I had to take a step back. I'm like, well, at that point, I understand. Like, you can't start.
And you're a Virgo, first. So I know.
You already know, okay? Like, we could go there every time as a Virgo. So, but that's about it. Thank you.
Okay, roommate. Bye. He said, he's a Virgo, so I know he will. He's not going to be the roommate. He's going to go below. He's going to go to the basement of the apartment. All right, let's bring up Taurus with the T. Taurus with the T, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. Happy Monday.
Okay, why do you sound muffled? Yeah.
Hi.
There we go. Did you have headphones in?
Yeah, I just took it out.
I don't know why it doesn't work with us.
Happy Monday. I wanted to say between the argument between Kelli and Brit, honestly, if Kelli felt like Brit was a pill popper, why are you friends with her? And why bring it up in such an opportune moment? So I'm definitely side eyeing Kelli. I would have definitely mentioned and air out her tea as well because that's not very friendly for her to do to Brit. Phaedra, Portia, and Cynthia were all a little bit too happy to be laughing about Angela potentially being cheated on, coming from the fact that all of them have been in marriages where infidelity has played a factor into the divorce. And I felt very cringe watching Shamia check Brit about why she wasn't reaching out to Kelli when Kelli isn't really acting like she wants to support. If you're going through a rough time, then that's completely understandable, but you should not act that way with friends over something as minuscule as the whole teen thing. I felt like that's something that they could have addressed in private. It seems to me like Kelli wanted to come at Brit for some reason. And that's it.
And maybe because of her new friendship with Shamia.
Yes, and as a fellow Earth sign myself, I will be the roommate as well. I'll actually be the landlord. I will always take it to hell. Bye.
Oh, damn. Not the land of these metaphors today, y'all. I mean, I'm an Earth sign, but I feel as Tauruses, it takes a lot for Tauruses to go there. Virgos, not so much. I think they go there on a casual, right, Keith? But Tauruses, it takes a lot for us to go to the petty department, even though I wouldn't say that in 2025 because we're in our villain era. But I think by the end of 2025, the villain era will be over. Okay? Zena's backstage. Zena, what did you want to share about Atlanta?
Hi, so much camp. I'm calling you at work like I usually do.
Okay.
You know, I'm supposed to be busy, but I'm sick of missing your lives for this dang on job. I got to put me first, Lucius.
Oh.
I took notes this time because I really wanted to touch on a few key points. I feel like I call in, I'll be getting on my points.
Oh.
Yes, Phaedra with her son in the fashion. Sweetheart, Dylan, we want the pants. We want the clothes. We got the money because you got the talent, Bookie. I mean, I've learned so much. That's what I did hear someone else say, too, also on commentary, saying that Phaedra with her kids, it balances out her lethal shade.
Mm-hmm.
She sometimes says things that makes people feel uncomfortable, like talking about putting crystals up the hoo-ha.
Yeah.
Phaedra, you are in your 50s, ma'am. Stop. Real bad. Don't nobody want to hear that. She pushes it too far. Sometimes she's trying to paint this image of young and hot girl summer type vibes. Phaedra, stop. We ain't buying it. You selling it, but we ain't buying that. So cut it out. Kempire, let me tell you something. If they put flip up rap sweet tea on my screen, I'm gonna lose my baby child. Okay? Please don't want to see it. Do not. That's why she ain't got no baby child. Because she keep flipping her hair up at the ends like that. Stop flipping your hair up like that. If you better not put it on the scene, we don't want to see it. Thank you so much. Love you.
Thanks, Zena. I'll get back to work. Bye. All right, Zoe's backstage. We got two Z's. Zoe's backstage. Zoe, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. I just want to talk about the stylist part. Okay. For me, it's weird when Kelli said, oh, Brit is not that girl. That's why she wants to use all of my stylists. And for me, it's like, okay, if you see her as your friend, why wouldn't you want her to be as good as you are, as hot as you are, and plug her with all of your people? Secondly, I don't agree with people wanting to keep stylists because they are making money. They are getting clients. They are expecting their clientele. Why are you telling me who to work with and who not to work with? And if you're going to tell me not to work with a person, then you better double my salary because now I'm losing a client because you are insecure. But I get that in the show like this, there is time consideration that there might be double bookings. I get that. But Kelli never made that argument. It was all about why you want to look like me. Why wouldn't you want your friends to be as good and popping as you are? To me, it screams insecurities, and it feels like she just wants to shit on Kelli in order to make friends with Shamia, and that's what makes me want to side with Brit because it's getting a little bit too much. Like, cut it out. Find something better to argue about, and don't throw down a person that you claim is your friend just to play cool with the cool kids like Portia and Shamia. Thank you so much, Kempire.
Thank you, Zoe. Take care. All right. We're going to bring up Tyler next. Tyler, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hi, Kempire. I never hear you say too much bad about Sagittarius, but one thing everybody does know, we will read you to the floor, and we don't have to go that low. Those girls don't know how to read, because if I was Kelli, I would have been like, girl, first of all, open up your mouth before you try to come for me, because I can't understand what you're saying. See, it's simple things. like a Nene Leakes would have read Brit to the floor. It's very simple. But what I will say is, Kelli, there is a hint of jealousy, but what I do like is you being real about it instead of lying. You said that you felt some type of way, unlike Portia, where you won't just simply say that you don't want Shamia on the show. You want to do your own thing. I do appreciate Kelli for keeping it real. I hate that I don't like Brit, but I will say this. I wish that this was the Brit we were getting all season. You should have just stood in and been the villain after the situation with Kenya. And to be honest, that would have worked out for you, whether people liked you or not. But I guarantee you, if this was the Brit that we would have gotten, everybody would have been like, bring her back. I mean, she's going to go low. She doesn't mind going off. I kind of like this Brit. I'm sorry.
I thought this was the Brit we were going to get.
Exactly, and stand in it. Because I would have just simply told Kelli, well, girl, I look better than you and I stole your people. That's what Kenya Moore would have done. And that's why it's so sad, because Kenya Moore and her could have worked past this and been a amazing duo. Because Brit's not that smart. She needs somebody with a few marbles in their brain to go past her. Her marbles are rolling backwards and everyone else's is rolling forward. Maybe it's the pills. But that's all.
Goodbye, Simon. All right, Tamara will be our last member call, but everyone else that's waiting backstage, you'll get 30 seconds to share your thoughts. Tamara, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
Kempire, how are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. I definitely think that the person at the party was a plant. The way he just walked up to the ladies, can we just walk up and just do that? And
not in a film scene.
Yeah, and only Kelly's security escorts us out. That was suspect. And then I did ask ChatGPT a question. So according to ChatGPT, I asked, was Phaedra Parks at Portia's Nigerian wedding? So ChatGPT says, yes, Phaedra Parks was present at Portia Williams' Nigerian traditional ceremony celebration. But to clarify, Phaedra did not attend the actual traditional wedding ceremony in November 2022 in Atlanta, the Nigerian-style traditional and U.S. church event, but she was in Lagos for what happens to be the continuation or celebration of that wedding abroad. So yes, Phaedra was with Portia during the Nigerian celebrations, even though she wasn't at the formal, official
I don't know if I believe that.
Traditional wedding in 2022.
I don't know if ChatGPT doesn't always get it right either, but I don't know because I didn't recall every single photo, but I could be wrong.
They have a photo of them in Lagos on the Shade Room in Lagos, but not at the wedding.
Yeah, but wasn't that recent?
They don't have it according to ChatGPT.
Goodbye, Tamara.
Bye.
But I appreciate you doing the Google schmoogle. Bye. Social media says devices not connected. So I don't know if you need to adjust something, but it's saying devices not connected. Social media. That's your username backstage. All right. Ashley's backstage. Ashley, what did you want to share in regards to Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Well, how are you?
Good. So I actually had a different take on what happened with Shamia. As far as when Phaedra was telling them that Lonnie had passed away, I thought that Shamia didn't know, because what I thought I heard Phaedra say was, I know, Lonnie, and also I know Shamia, you know Lonnie. That's what I thought she said. But maybe I need to go back and look at it, because after she said that, Shamia's response, how she was shocked and crying, it gave me that she didn't know that Lonnie had passed.
Yeah.
But then again, I might have to go back and look at that. And then also, Brit did mention emptying her clip in both the confessional, and she said it again in the after show. She mentioned in the after show as well. So she's a mess.
Yeah, she needed to go.
Seriously, she really needed to go. All right, thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Ashley. Bye. All right, let's bring social media up next. Social media, what did you want to share?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I don't know why I come up social media, but Wagwan here in Jamaica, it is only 75 degrees. I'm so sad that you are burning hot over there.
Oh my God.
But it is nice and breezy today.
Sure.
But, okay, so a couple things. I was very uncomfortable with the event, and them just kept on touching Kelly's little tatas. I'm like, why do they keep on touching this little lady's breasts the whole time? Keep your hands to yourself. Yeah. And I don't think that Kelly was really jealous of Brit using her glam squad, but it was just like, you know, as a friend, I'm gonna let you go ahead and use him for a little bit. But it didn't, you know, you're in Atlanta. You can find, there's so many people that need opportunities. You definitely can find somebody else. So just get your own team. And just real quick, for Virgos, I know the Virgos had said something, but for me, I am not the person. If you're my friend, I am not airing out your dirty laundry. I'm just that type of person. Like, I'm gonna just let the universe deal with you, and that's that or that. Oh, O'Shea, in your community, can we please get like a meditation video? Like, I love his voice.
I know.
Like, I just need you to do something. But thanks, Kempire.
Thanks. Bye. Yeah, I love a South African accent. All right. And Zoe, too. Zoe has a very lovely accent, too. Okay, let's bring up Tracy next, because I got to go. I have my Diddy update I need to do, y'all.
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
Yeah, so on the Londi thing, I listened to it again when you were talking.
Thank you.
What she said was, Londi, whom Shamia and I both know.
Okay.
And Shamia didn't confirm on her comments today that that was her first time hearing about the death.
Okay.
Now, about the pill popping, somebody did ask Shamia about the same thing, if it was going too low, and she said it wasn't low when she was popping pills in front of everybody in Grenada.
Lord.
There you go.
Okay. Thanks, Tracy.
You're welcome.
All right. Take care. All right. I think that's terrible, though, when there's so many scenes from this episode that we're all like, oh, we did you, because everyone's thinking when Kelli said your pill popping roommate that she was talking about Brit's husband or her roommate, when no, she was talking to Phaedra in reference to Brit. So there's a few moments in this episode they're like, wait, I shouldn't need to go back and rewatch a scene to kind of make sense of it. All right. Okay, let's bring Excommunicado. Excommunicado, what's going on?
Yeah, hi, Kempire.
Hey.
So briefly, for Brit, I think I kind of respected the point when she said that she didn't call Kelli because they were not in a good space and she didn't want to fake it. Okay, that was a bit real. Not everybody would do that, especially when you're not in a good place with somebody. But maybe you can just show a little bit of a hand, but I can't judge you either way. And Kelli too, also sharing her opinion as regards, okay, she kind of felt away because you can't just have my whole team. If you want to pick up one or two people and share, that's understandable. But beyond that, though, my main concern is about the whole Angela's cheating rumor for Charles. I don't know. I feel like the way these production teams are kind of painting people's spouses, it's getting a bit offhanded. Because for you to allow something like this, which seems like an obvious rumor and an instigated plot, to still air and to carry on as a story, whether it's just because of a lackluster season, I don't know. It kind of rubs me off the wrong way because these are people's relationships that you're putting at risk. And it's the same thing that is kind of going on at Miami with Lisa's guy. I'm not sure how that situation is going to turn out, but if he really is not the way that they're portraying him out to be, Lisa might end up losing that relationship because of all of this, because nobody really would like themselves being thrown in this light, especially when you have a business that you're actually representing. So the way they are playing around with people's relationships just kind of rubs me up the wrong way.
Yeah, dangerous.
That's all.
Dangerous. Thanks, Excommunicado. Have a good day.
Yes, sir.
Oops, sorry. Guys, first of all, thank you so much for everyone that donated to our fundraiser. We still have a week. So yes, we hit our goal during this live. So thank you to everyone that has donated to our fundraiser. 100% of your donation goes to the organization, the center, which we're raising money for Pride Month. Pride Month is still going on for now. So we're going to increase it so that we can continue to raise money. You know, my real goal is 5,000, but we really struggled to get to 3, but we hit it. We hit it. Also, don't forget the Kempire After Dark live show is coming to Philadelphia on July 10th. July 10th, we'll be in Philadelphia at the City Winery. There is a flash sale this week for premium tickets for $25 only. So if you've been wanting to get tickets and you've been wanting to come to the show and you were going to wait, don't wait. This week only, you are able to get tickets for $25. Go get your tickets today for that. I will also be coming to the City Winery in Atlanta on August 5th. Then we'll be in D.C. at the Union Stage on August 22nd. 22nd. And then back here in New York City on September 12th at the Green Room 42. All shows will have meet and greets, but the New York City show will have a live stream option. So even if you are abroad, if you're in another city, another state, or if you came to the other shows, you know, whatever we say in Atlanta, Philly, and DC won't be what we say come September. So get your tickets today. All information on the show will be available in the description. How would you guys rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta? Let me take a look at the rating, and then we'll bring up Jenna to close us out as our last caller for today. Okay, this week's episode has done far better than the previous week's episodes. This week's episode, with over 1,774 votes, you guys are rating with 62% of the vote, between a 7 and a 10. That's good, because, you know, we've struggled in regards to the ratings when it comes to Real Housewives of Atlanta, but a lot of you were very much entertained. So that's really, really good, right? Come on now. All right, if you're watching us on X or on the other platforms or on Facebook, be sure to let us know how you would rate this week's episode. And those of you watching on Twitch, Carolyn says her birthday is tomorrow and she's watching on Twitch. Happy early birthday. Hey, Ren. Ren is also watching. I hope Kelli plans to pay them more if she's going to stop their bag like that in regards to the team. I don't think she's working with those people anymore. I know she's not working with the fashion stylist anymore. So I don't know if she's working with her makeup artist or I don't know. It's petty. This is what they talk about on Housewives. I can appreciate that. But then it got real dark real quick. Okay, in this week's episode. All right, let's bring Jenna up next. Jenna, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hi, can you hear me, Kempire?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. Okay. So first of all, I missed you, honey. I'm glad to see y'all and talk to y'all. Y'all just had me cackling all through this live. You and the callers, the community is just fantastic. I'm not even going to try to top what anybody else said. Plus, I didn't watch the episode yet. But I just wanted to call in and say hi and let you know I'll see you in Philadelphia because I got my ticket and I put my donation in.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And welcome to the Mod Squad.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you later.
Yes, indeed. Bye-bye, y'all.
Bye. All right. Let me say hey to everyone in the chat. Wait, I saw a comment. Oh, Allie says, my birthday was last week. Happy birthday to all the June babies. Happy belated birthday, Allie. Allie Benz. Shout out to anyone celebrating a birthday. Don't forget, you can get a personal birthday message from me. I'm on CAMEO. Go book me today, cancer season, because I know y'all want me to shade y'all and drag y'all in your birthday message. I kid. Guys, we're almost at 1,000 likes. If you haven't liked the video already, be sure to like the video. Don't forget, I will be giving you your Day 28 Diddy update here on the channel and also on the podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. You can also hear our live recap from today for Real Housewives of Atlanta on the podcast, along with a lot of other special content, including our Club Kempire. That's also available on the podcast. It's a free 3-day trial, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already. All right. Thank you again to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to our subscribers and those of you watching in the bushes. You know, I'm sure there's quite a few of you that are still not subscribed. You're missing out. You're missing out. All right. Happy belated birthday. We had a lot of birthdays that were being celebrated. Happy belated birthday, Princess. A lot of birthdays that passed. All right. All right, everyone. Happy belated. My birthday passed. It was May. It was on Mother's Day. All right, y'all. I'll see you guys in the next one. Keep liking the video. And again, don't forget the Philly show. The Philly show has a special flash sale only this week. So get your tickets today for that. Bye, y'all.
Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. As always, you can hear Kempire on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. More information can be found on KempireRadio.com.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.